Hey, I'm Luke Andrews with Schulte Industries. Today we're here at the National Farm Machinery Show, and I want to take a moment to walk you around our FX-1800. To start off, the FX-1800 is 180 inches, which is a 15-foot wide cut. I'm going to start off with the business end here. This is the most important part of the cutter. Is this stump jumper pan on all of them of ours are spun. They're not pressed or stamped. So you see a better, smoother pan finish here. You even have extra lip for better durability. The blade bolts here are a pentagon bushing, and a blade bolt. So if you undo the bolt on the back and you tap the blade, it comes out a lot easier to replace the bolts. This has our 5-inch blade option on here. You can get 4, and we call it a super suction updraft because the whole blade is twisted, not just the back. Our blades are ping hardened for longer life. We have the deck ring to keep the blade slap off the deck. Any hollow spot on any Schulte mower is 100% welded. You don't see any stitch welds or seam welds. You don't want a lot of material to build up in here, and you go to fire it up in the springtime and your gearbox starts dancing around because it rotted from the inside out. You'll see all these extra gussets on the bottom of our deck, and these gussets go to the top of the deck as well as tie into the wheel standards. We have 2-point connectivity on the wheel standards. We have the only manufacturer I know of that puts this piece of metal back here on the back skirt. All the other manufacturers just come down here to abrupt stop, and it's just a piece of thin sheet metal that if it gets hit right, it gets put in the blades. We have the deep well cutting chamber here. This allows you to go through the thick vegetation and able to process the material and not bog your tractor down trying to get it out the back. On the front and the back of this unit, we have thick wall channel iron. If your tractor is to come in contact with something, it's going to break the traction on your tires or stall your tractor out. It's not going to wreck your cutter. We have 18.5-inch clearance, ground clearance. So if you got a lot of ditches or berms you're going over, this is the unit that you won't have to sit there and drag your mower over the top. I'm gonna walk you around the back here. This is something I'm really excited about. What we did at Schulte is on these wheel standers, excuse these, this is a trade show, we got to keep padding here. But what we did here is we made all our wheel standers where they could bolt on and off here. If or when these get worn out or damaged, if you run in or back into something you're not supposed to, or you have bearing failure later on down the road, you could take your impact out of your truck, bust these 4 bolts loose, pull this off and take it to the shop, rebuild it or replace it. On each wheel, the center or the wings or all have that same option there. We have the rubber suspension, and in my opinion, this rubber suspension is not going to wear out, just like a spring is eventually going to break. This rubber will not eventually break. Also, when this rubber bottoms out, it's going to be a lot softer bottom out versus spring. Bottoms out, it's going to send shockwaves throughout your whole cutter. We have hooks on the bottom for easy tie down if you're transporting your unit. You don't have to drag the chains across your painted surface. We have a dome over deck tube frame. This is very important. A lot of cutters here, they just bring their deck over and they curve them. This is a tube frame deck. Also, these are called wiper blades. And what the wiper blades do, it keeps dirt and trash from camping out on your hinges here and rotting it. So every time you fold it, it's going to push the dirt down that's on that and push it through the hinge. Once again, this is that piece of metal I said I believe we're the only manufacturer that puts on there. You can see it from the downside here. Replaceable skid shield. You got 2-piece replaceable there. We have sight glass down gearboxes are rated for 125 horsepower. Carrying on through Cat 5 and 6 drive shafts, depending on if it's a 540 or 1000 PTO. This is the splitter gearbox. Even little things like this that makes our cutters that great. As we send these tools in the manual, this is just to say that your clutch is set right, not too tight, not too loose. Want to make sure everything is right and ready for the field. I'm gonna bring you up here on the front now. This has our Pro Level Hitch on it. Pro Level, so every time you leave this cutter, it's gonna be back there when you come back. This has a Cat 2 bushing in it, which is replaceable. So when this wears out, you can replace that, or you can rebuild it yourself, or you can remove the bushing and have a Cat 3 hold, depending on your drawbar. For more information, look us up on the web at www.schulte.ca. Thanks for watching.